Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohammad Asim. I'm working as a DevOps engineer. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can deploy the Hazelcast on AWS and what Hazelcast is. I'm not going to go into a lot more details. You can find and maybe you have already have the knowledge. And the main part of this video is that I'm going to show you the deployment. So and that deployment is going to be through the Ansible. And I already set up three machines. These are the Ansible machines, and let's call this management server. So all this code is actually um, available in my GitHub repository. And for this deployment of EC2 instance, I've used Terraform. Let me just rename this to Hazelcast um, cluster. Okay, so I've already created a repo for this. This is the Ansible repo. In that you can see the directory, and I will share the link with you as well. So what you have to do is to navigate to Hazelcast. In this video, I'm going to show you the pure installation with the Ansible. Although the Ansible with Docker setup is already there, the process is going to be the same. If you want to use the Docker, so you can use that. So anyway, what I have done, I have set up a playbook for Ansible installation, and I'm going to show you how we can access that. So let's begin. So what I've done, as I told you, that I've already cloned this repository at my local machine, and I'm using that container. So regarding that, I've already shown those particular videos. You can watch my videos with regard to the usage of UI in containers. This is the Chasm desktop, and we are using that. So anyway, I've already cloned this repository at my local machine, and I'm going to open in an editor. Now what I'm going to do, what or you should do, simply navigate to this Ansible Hazelcast, and I'm going to click this. First of all, I'm going to use the member here. I mean that it is going to deploy the cluster. So if I navigate to the playbook section, you see this is a Hazelcast open source setup for the deployment of Hazelcast. So simply you can use the um, I mean script, and we are using that particular script to deploy the Hazelcast cluster. You can use that as well, but if you want to use the automation through Ansible, you can use this definitely. So what I'm going to do is to simply navigate to this inventory section, and I'm going to simply update this public IP. Definitely you can use uh, the internal networking or whatever you want. So as this is the demo, so I'm using it. I'm going to navigate to this Hazelcast cluster, and I'm going to update the IP of this. And similarly, I'm going to navigate to this management. So I'm not going to use this third EC2 machine. So two would be enough. So with regard to the member, that's fine. And if I navigate to the management and inventory section, I'm going to update the IP of this management. Through management cluster, we are going to access our application on port 8080. So first of all, as I discussed, what we will be doing, navigate to this directory of members, and this is as a script as I shown you guys. So let me navigate my to this section, and what I've done, as I told you, this is the Docker container. If I do, I'm going to exec into this container docker do ps simply, right? So docker exec interactive shell into this Chasm desktop, and I'm going to simply SSH into this. Let me navigate to the root, and root is mounted with the desktop. And if you see, there is an Ansible directory, and I can navigate to the Hazelcast um, Ansible section, right? And if I navigate to the CD into members, and there we go. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna simply um, update this temp file. So as this is the demo for your understanding, I put everything private key and um, everything in one place. So we updated the inventory file. Let's try to run Ansible playbook, and we are going to use this inventory file, and this is our playbook for the members. And one thing before that, it is actually give us an error, and the error is with regard to the SSH. You see, it is not a error. It is going to say ask for the key. I'm going to say no here. So what you can do for the Ansible, if you can export this environment variable. Let me navigate to this. So this is the environment variable. You can simply copy this environment variable and export it. Now it's not going to ask for any host key checking, and if everything goes well, it's going to do the installation. One thing with regard to the security group, let me show you that. If I navigate, we are now concentrating on this Hazelcast cluster setup. So on my IP, I've all allowed everything. So this is my IP address. So I've just allowed it, right? So this is I need to show you, and I think everything is fine there. So all these deployments through Terraform, and other than that, I need to show you if you want to use this Terraform stuff for the deployment, you can use that as well. So in past, I've already done a lot of tutorials with regard to the Terraform. You can do that. You see, installation with regard to the Hazel class, sorry, Hazelcast cluster is in place, and in a few moments, we should be able to see our Hazel class cluster. So once it's done, what we will be doing, or instead of waiting for this, let me open another tab, and if I do docker ex, and I'm going to do exec docker exec interactive shell into this guy, right? And I'm going to say bash. I'm going to navigate to root, Ansible, and Hazelcast, and then I'm going to navigate to Hazelcast and management center, and we are going to also do chmod for this, right? And update this key. Okay, and what I'm gonna do, I'm going to simply also use this environment variable, because this is the other shell. This environment variable is not going to be present there. So I'm going to use this same command, Ansible playbook -i inventory, and I'm going to run this installation on this particular guy. And let me show you that. So this is the management server we have set up. So, and let me, and this is the cluster. We are going to access this cluster, and simply I'm going to copy this. Once installation of this management server is available, we are going to access that. So currently, the definitely it is not going to be available because the installation is in place. You see installation, and let's see what is the status of cluster. So it is almost done. We set up a persistent uh, service on that. So let me also navigate to this guy, and I want to show you the inside of this what is going to be the setup when you see into this machine. This is the excuse me, Ubuntu, I guess 20 LTS. Let's see, but I'm not sure. So if I do sudo -i and do that simply hostname CTL for this, and you will see, okay, yeah, 220 LTS one. And if you type tmux ls, you will see one session here, right? Why I have used tmux, because it also shows the interactive session. If I do tmux um, uh, catch um, catch, I think if I'm not wrong, to this Hazel cast. Yeah, you see, we have now in this session and the cluster is running on this private IP address of that. So how it is started, I've already showed you guys that the script I wrote, it is going to run the Hazelcast cluster on this interface, which is of this machine, and it is going to automatically pick that. So it is running on that. So 10.60.101.2015. I'm going to open this um, remain key, open this to make sure that what changes we can see. If I navigate to this section and try to reload, let's see. You see our installation with regard to the management server has done OK7, and with regard to the setup of Hazelcast cluster open source version is also set up. So you see there is no security, and I wanna go for the local, click local, and I'm going to give this name Cloud Geek, right? And I'm going to set up password, and you can set up this as well. So you can set up your password. So I'm going for the local security. So now it says save it. So I don't want to save it. So I'm going to now provide the Cloud Geek username and the password I set up. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to simply import our cluster. So I want to connect to that particular cluster. By default, the cluster name is dev. You can change the name in the script we have set up for the cluster. Anyway, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove this, and I'm going to put this particular IP address. So this is 10.60.101.2015. Put 10, sorry, 10.60.101.2015, 2015, and press tab then. So you see it's now available. Try to connect with that. So uh, let's see if it is disconnected. Um, I have to check. Let me select this one. Okay, let me check this one. So it seems that I have to update the security group as well. Okay, definitely. Let me show you with that. So I've allowed all the traffic to my IP address. So let me update this. So what I'm gonna do, I've used this um, security group. So instead of allowing this, what I'm gonna do, I'm going to, for the sake of this demo, I'm going to put this allow all this traffic to my I mean 1060 network, or I'm going to simply type the Ansible security group. So if I save this, and we should be able to see our cluster again. So if I navigate to cluster section again, okay, uh, click cluster. Okay, let me simply, you see, connected to cluster now. So there is no need to even see that. and you will see the IP address of that as well. You see 10.60.101.20 uh, 2.155.7.1. So by default, it uses this port. And if I navigate to this section and see in the UI, you will see the output of that. You see that initialization has begun with regard to the cluster partition has started. So you see the connectivity as well. So that is it, guys. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe the channel. Have a nice day.